What is that?
Is that me?
Is that you? What's up, everybody? How you doing?
What is that?
Is that you? Oh, I got some major feedback going on.
What is that?
All right, I got to cut him off for a second. Mitchell, this is my buddy Mitchell. Mitchell, I've got you muted, man, because your headphones aren't working right now. Anyway, hi, everybody. Welcome to, you know what? Hold on. Let me just take this over for a second. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. So today I've got my buddy Mitchell Wherry with me. I love this guy. This is one of my best friends in life. I'm really excited to have him on the show because seriously, he's fantastic. We've been friends for, I think, 12 years. I don't know, he might yell at me for a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it's accurate. I've known this guy for a long time. Fantastic dude. We used to work together. He actually trained me at a restaurant that we met at, and then we just became friends ever since. Dude is fantastic. All right, let's check in on him. How's the mic doing?
I think we got to.
There we go.
I have your screen pulled up, obviously, because watching the show on a daily basis, being involved in it. It was just it was the delayed show that was playing on YouTube. So sorry about that, everybody.
That's all right. Anyway, I was just telling him that we've been friends for 12 years. Is that accurate? I think that's about
roughly,
right.
Probably 12, a little more. I think 2009
years?
or something like that.
No, more than that.
Is it longer than that?
2009, actually. That sounds about right, maybe.
We were like 23 or 24 years old, somewhere in that ballpark. So,
probably about 24, I think.
Probably about 12, 13 years.
Anyway, welcome to the show, Mitchell. You've actually been on the show before in an impromptu, me flying to Arizona to vote show. That was actually a lot of fun. We jammed a little bit, but I want to talk to you about your new project. Mitchell has been doing something called the Beat Sessions, and I've seen a couple of your videos. I don't watch them all. I tend to check out albums that interest me, like the new Weezer album. You actually just recently did one, Crosby, right? Didn't Crosby just release?
David Crosby put out a new record. He's 80 years old, man, and it's 80. It's phenomenal, dude. He sounds just as good as he ever has before. So it's really cool to see a lot of these older performers. Tom Jones put out an album earlier in the year. Sounds just as energetic as he ever did before.
Tom Jones, really?
Tom Jones did, yeah.
All right, so Mitchell's been doing this show called The Beat Sessions on YouTube, and what he does is he breaks down. I mean, do you do every new record? I mean, you really do have a wide range of records that you do. Like, what kind of music are you pinpointing?
So there would be no way to cover every single record that's released with any type of integrity, even like major releases. Because I have a list that pulls up maybe, depending on the week. Some weeks are loaded. Some weeks there's like 20, 25 albums that are coming out. Some weeks are light. And it's basically kind of a crapshoot. A lot of it's based on what I'm into. I like a lot of rock and roll, especially older classic rock, anything rooted in blues. But I'm also a huge fan of pop music, a huge fan of hip hop, especially 90s hip hop. And so it kind of depends on what's coming out. And, obviously what is popular plays into a little bit. I do have to consider that. But I've noticed that it's kind of a crapshoot as far as who I'm talking about and how successful a video it is. It's been kind of tough tracking analytics that way. But I know that Friday is album release day. So when I do Friday videos, those tend to be my better videos as far as views and comments. Really started this page as a means to, not only get out of my own personal music rut. I think it's something that, no matter what you're dealing with in life, is really easy for it to happen. So I found myself just, and especially DJing as much as I do now, like stuck in a rut, playing a lot of the same stuff, needing to branch out a bit. So starting the channel for that reason, but it is great as a resource too, to have other people, giving me their input. I have, a couple people now that are asking me to do album reviews as the channel grows and builds. It's becoming a solid community, much like you have here. Chat, I see you guys on a daily basis, minus like all the creepy Orwellian stuff, but you guys are great, for real. The sense of community that you have all built around this show, like we're just watching all of you say hello, spread the love with each other. It's a phenomenal thing. And, like Adam says, there is no chat that is like you guys. Nothing compares to you guys. So it's great to be a part of the show live and to be involved. And kudos to you guys for just bringing that thunder, for bringing that fire. It really is truly authentic and a lot of fun to watch on a daily basis.
So I see you got a couple. So John Mayer, I want to talk to you about the John Mayer album because I really like John Mayer a lot, and I think I actually watched some of it, and you were talking about how he isn't doing what he could do on the guitar. He is one of the best guitarists I've heard in a while, but not on his albums. Like, he doesn't use his guitar skills on his albums.
And you're absolutely right about that. It's he's I think he's always considered himself more of a songwriter than a guitar player for some reason.
Okay.
And there's a lot of, I'm not comparing him musically, but I lump him into this category of guys like Eddie Van Halen, and I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers with this. Not the hugest fan of the band Van Halen, but Eddie's genius is undeniable. Easily one of the best guitar players ever. So I look at a guy like John Mayer, and this album in particular, I hate the title. I think the title is awful. But I'm a big Sabra. It's garbage.
What does that mean? Sabrock.
So it almost kind of feels like he's poking fun at himself a little bit, kind of a play on this genre of soft rock that he obviously has made a career out of. But he's on this particular album, he's dialing into this like mid 80s Don Henley kind of thing. I mean, you can even just look at the album cover and see it from there. And so, loving that, I like what he's doing on the record. There's some stuff that really hits solid. I'm trying to think of the name of the 7th track. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but I know it's song number 7 on that album. It's phenomenal. It's really just got this excellent balladry to it. And it's John working with the guitar in a way that I think a lot of us would like to see him work more with it on albums. I don't necessarily need to see like a straight up raw blues record from him. Yeah. But it would be nice.
I would love that though. I would love that.
I would absolutely love it. And you do have like the John Mayer trio. He has done a number of side projects where he's flirted with that and gone full on with it. Yeah. But it's I think it's just one of those things that from a songwriter standpoint, artistically, like guys like you and I are just never gonna, I don't know, knowing that potential he has as a blues guitarist, how talented he really is. I just don't think guys like us will really ever be satisfied with just with that style that he's rolling with. And, that's a decision that he's made. And again, there's a lot of stuff that I do like about this new record. I think the 80s sound that he's channeling is great. There are some spots where I think as far as just like his hooks and the energy there's just lost potential. A lot of them are really soft. There's nothing that really like grabs and sticks with you. As far as a lot of the songs, that's the big thing that I noticed on it anyway.
So you've been doing a lot of different albums here. I mean, obviously Bare Naked Ladies, like I didn't even know they were still around. Who else we got?
I mean, me neither. That's the great thing about this is like, I go look at the week and kind of line up how I'm going to play things based on my work schedule. And just, I mean, on a weekly basis, I'm tickled by some band that I just thought had disappeared off the face of the earth and still doing their thing, chugging away at it. And it's really cool. Like that particular album is solid. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not one to like really throw on the Bare Naked Ladies very
Tour
often.
de Force. I love the album artwork is awesome, actually.
Album artwork. Yeah, that's the bicycle that's on the ring, right? Of the moon or the planet or whatever.
Like whatever, some sort of planet with rings.
Great artwork on that record. Absolutely. Yeah. So no, it's definitely been one of the highlights of this channel is, a lot of these bands that, what it is too, and you can relate to this. I think most people watching the show right now can relate to it is, when you're younger and you're into whatever it is you think is the hippest thing out there and everything else just isn't that cool. Like, I feel like Bare Naked Ladies came up at a time where, like I was into SoCal punk and, a couple of these other genres and I just didn't think of them as cool. Like I just saw them as like commercial and goofy and just sort of overlooked them. Never minded when anybody would play them on the radio or, throw them in a playlist or whatever, but it was nothing that I ever threw on my own. So, being able to explore bands like this and, listen to their music now and listen to what they're writing 20, 25 years ago, especially is a pretty cool thing. So
out of all the albums that you've done, let's just go 2021. When did you start your channel? When was that?
December 8th of last year. So
okay. Wow.
It's pretty much,
fresh.
Yeah, pretty much just picked up in this year.
Okay, so I'd say let's just go of the albums that you've reviewed for your channel that you've listened. Well, first off, do you get them all on record or do you listen to them on online somewhere?
Well, I definitely stream them because there are there's ones that I haven't liked where there would be buyer's remorse. I definitely would definitely would not want to own quite a few records that I've reviewed. I try not to to just do negative outright hit pieces on records. I mean, like I want this channel to be constructive. At the very least, you know, like I'm glad you highlight the volume. You know, at the very least, I would like to just have this be a list that you can go to be like, all right, what came out this week, and you can check it out and make up your own mind and opinion on it.
But you do a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and I would say the one drawback right now is, you know, having, you know, built this momentum. Now I find myself not enjoying a lot of the stuff that I really like as much as I used to. So there is that compromise there. And I mean, obviously, you know, we've working a lot with the move, you and Nishra, and I know there's just been a lot going on. So as far as like managing my time and trying to work that out right now, it's one of those things where, you know, picking up the live show again next month and moving.
I got to come on your show.
I definitely want you on my show. Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah. It might be, come on over.
It might be a little late where you're at when we do that, but
that's okay.
If you're willing to make the sacrifice. But yeah, you know, I think it's tough, man. I definitely would like to do 5 album reviews a week. Try to keep the genres mixed, keep some type of rock and roll, some type of pop, some type of hip hop in there for everybody. Just to, keep the channel diverse, try to keep everybody's interest keyed in on. And again, a lot of it just depends on the week. Like if you're a hip hop fan, this upcoming weekend is a big one. Jizza has a new record coming out. So he's got Jizza versus Bobby Digital. So if you're a Wu-Tang Clan fan, that's going to be an awesome record. Nas has a brand new record coming out. And then 2 highly anticipated records. I'm not sure how you feel about either of these guys, but both Drake and Kanye have their new records coming out this weekend. Kanye's announces, Drake hasn't. There's like speculation about Drake, but I have a feeling that with the beef between those guys, Drake is going to be like, all right, you're putting yours out, I'm putting mine out. Like he's had that record finished for months now. He could have put it out whenever he wanted to.
Well, I'm not really excited about Drake, but I am excited about Kanye's because I really like Kanye's music. Everything that he's ever put out with I vibe with. It's just good music. I like the way that he does things. I like pretty much every Kanye album I've ever heard. But to be fair, I haven't actually put on a Drake album and just hit play and let it run, you know? So I can't really say that I've done that. But what I've heard of Drake, I'm like, meh.
I would say as far as their overall volume, you know, I'm definitely going to throw on a Kanye record before I throw on just a Drake record. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff that Drake has done that I like. It's just, you know, a lot of his stuff kind of has that contemporary feel. So you do get these, you know, as opposed to just like a guy like Nas. I'm really excited about that new record. I like that.
I like Nas too.
Hip hop of just, you know, the hook is essentially just a solid beat. And you just give a guy, you know, or woman, you give a person, you know, 3 minutes to just spit and do their thing. And there's just great wordplay, great rhyme schemes. And so I like that style of hip hop. So Drake, you know, like that's not necessarily his thing all the time. I mean, he's capable of it. But, you know, there's a lot more of that contemporary stuff as far as like the melodies and the hooks. And I'm not necessarily wild about that all the time. And I know a lot of fans that, you know, that aren't really into that either. So
what else are you looking forward to? What other albums?
I know that the Killers have a new album coming out the following week.
Oh, I like the Killers.
Yeah, there's Big Tribe Called Quest fan. So Phife Dawg's final record is set to come out at some point before the end of the year. So really looking forward to that. Honestly, I'm really pumped about September, October. We're closing in on the 30th anniversary, and I'm going to do a lot of this on the live show. So if you honestly like want to come on and host one of these segments with me, it'd be a lot of fun. I mean, we're getting ready to close in on the 30th anniversary of one of like the most magical periods of music, like one of the most introspective periods in retrospect. You know, you have obviously Nirvana, Nevermind, but now we have Pearl Jam 10. We have Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. We're going to be celebrating Super Unknown, Soundgarden. I mean, there's all these just mega influential albums like across the genre board too. Yeah, that we're getting ready to celebrate that 30th anniversary in September and October. So that more than anything is what I'm really hyped about. You know, getting into the end of the year.
Man, just early 90s.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, you and I were, you know, pretty little, 6, 7, 8. I remember having this really cool babysitter. It was this guy that was a server at, you know, one of the restaurants that my mom managed. And, you know, he would bring over tapes and some other stuff and he was like basically the first guy that taught me how to make a mixtape. Yeah. So, you know, he'd have a couple CDs. It was, you know, it's crazy to think that technology was like, you know, new at the time.
Yeah,
But we'd play the CD and rip it onto tape and just do mixtapes that way. And that was one of my favorite things growing up as a kid. I remember just staying up way too late all the time with a tape cassette in my 3-disc changer, just ready for the next song on the radio to play. You never knew what it would be.
I remember that.
And the worst was always when like the DJ wanted to talk, or there'd be like some commercial break that'd go into an intro. You'd just be like, "Oh, shut up,"
I want the intro. Oh, they're still talking.
Yeah, dude, you gotta have the intro. I'm a purist of that way. So those were always re-records. You got to hit the reset button. But yeah, just a really rich period in music. A lot as far as just the way hip hop was coming up, the way rock was changing, the way technology was changing. Really it was kind of like the inception of this really crazy period that we're in right now. It's
someone in chat just said, and then grunge ended. It's like, it's kind of true.
And so I've talked about this on my channel a lot too. I love the mid 90s because I think there's this period for about 2 years where rock and roll just didn't have an identity. Sublime, like the Wallflowers put out a new record. So like, I mean, you think about like the type of music they wrote. REM was becoming, I don't want to say that they were releasing their best records because I really like their early records, their 80s stuff. But as far as their commercial success, they were blowing up. Monster came out in 94, I think. So yeah, I mean, Live is a great example. Yeah, you have all these different types of great rock and roll bands.
Yeah.
And then somehow out of that 2 years, we evolved into like post-grunge Creed, Nickelback, and like Blink-182 pop punk. Like, I don't know how with all these excellent bands, like we ended up with those two major genres of rock in the late 90s, but it happened. So be it.
How that happened. I love the 90s music. I mean, we're both the same age, so we grew up listening to just, I mean, to me, awesome music, raw music. I mean, that's what it feels like. It was raw. It was like they didn't care if any. It was the time of making new IPs. I mean, I'm kind of comparing it to movies because the 90s movies, people were like, I'm going to do something new. I'm going to try something new. And that's kind of how music felt, where now it's like, we know what works in the algorithms, so we're going to stick to that. And that doesn't feel natural anymore. And I think it's bigger than music because it's movies too. It's all kind of art in general, right? And the 90s felt like this. I hesitate on the word Wild West, but it really felt like people were like, I don't care if you like my music or not. This is my music. And it worked. It was good. And people were like, yeah, raw, authentic music. I love that about the 90s.
Yeah, man. It was a point where like counterculture was the mainstream, ironically enough.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to watch the way rock has gone through its phases, how stylistically, it's obviously very different than it was 20 years ago. You still have a lot of great musicians that are holding on to, traditional roots, and a lot of classic artists that are
like who? Give me some.
So I would say like Wolfgang Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen's kid just put out his new record. Phenomenal record, and obviously growing up playing in his dad's band, he played with Tremonti too. Mark Tremonti was the lead guitarist from Creed, who. Phenomenal guitarist, actually, just never cared for the band. But Wolfgang, really just this phenomenal classic rock sound that's true to form. You get to hear a lot of AC/DC, a lot of his dad's band, the good guitar stuff though, none of the like jump synth garbage. But yeah, you have these artists that are, like I said, staying true to form, I guess would be a way to put it with the genre. And then you have artists like Dee Snider just put out a new record last week. And it is
Dee Snider.
Dee Snider. He's 66, and he supposedly had retired. And with everything that was going on with COVID, and he's cool. Like, I really like his perspective on the record. He's definitely the type of guy that's like, hey, 80%. Like those of you are tired of watching the right and the left, the 10% on each side scream at each other. This record is for you. And so it's got good energy. I like where his head's at. And it's one of those things where there's. Obviously, with everything that's gone on in the last couple of years, there's going to be a lot of albums, and I'm pretty critical of this. There's a lot of albums that are going to take on this ephemeral character. They're going to be very specific to like a time period. And I just think because of that, contextually, they're not going to age well. This is not going to be a period in time that any of us are going to really reflect on with any fondness. Let's
you got that right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like, like 10 years from now, it's like, oh yeah, let me throw on that angry COVID record. No one's going to do that. which is why I was
the angry COVID record.
That's why I was so critical of Van Morrison's new record. It's 28 songs. It's 2 hours and 8 minutes long. All right.
28 songs.
It's 28 songs and 2 hours and 8 minutes long. So do the math there. Like every song is like 4.5 to 5 minutes long.
That's long. That's
it's a content dump. It's like a good album, unless you're setting out to make a double album, which I mean, whatever. If you want to do that, that's fine. But a good record, in my opinion, it's got about like a solid 45-minute runtime.
Yeah.
10 to 12 songs. A lot of this comes traditionally from just the amount of time that you get on each side of a vinyl record.
Yeah, right.
So that, that obviously is a big factor, but it is obviously an attention thing and just the pleasure of, being drawn into something for that perfect, 40 to 45-minute period.
Yeah.
That, and the other thing is like, there are half the songs on that record are damn good. They are pretty good, but you get these song titles that are like, why are you on Facebook? And it's a good question because like Facebook is garbage, but so is the song. It's not, when I look at the Van Morrison catalog and everything that he's done over the years, and especially his early work and just how brilliant and how much music that inspired on its own. It's not the type of stuff that I'm used to Van Morrison seeing. So it's not that I disagree with his political viewpoints. And I will say, I will give him kudos that all the album sales from that project, he donated to a fund that was generated for musicians in England that were struggling during COVID because they couldn't perform. So props to Van Morrison for that. I don't want to throw him under the bus or drag him down, but it was funny, the opprobrium that I got, like all the negative feedback that was like, you don't respect him speaking up for your rights to defend your opinion. And I'm like, oh, you mean my defending my opinion to say that I don't like this record?
So I could ruffle some feathers right now. Ready?
Yeah.
Look behind you. What poster you got there? Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan's overrated.
I knew he was going to go there. This is not the first time I've heard him say that.
I believe it. I mean, look, if you love Bob Dylan, that's great. Bob Dylan, he has his strengths, but he has a lot of weaknesses, and a lot of his music I can't even listen to it anymore.
And I'll level with you too. Bob Dylan's one of those guys where, I would say from the inception of his career, maybe to about 75, ending with the album Desire, I'm solid through that period of time.
Yeah.
But he has his, weird Christian phase, and then just some phases where he just flat out didn't make good records. It's kind of like, it's kind of like Prince. Prince put out a new record on Friday, and it's been interesting hearing the feedback because a lot of people are like, this album isn't that great. And what I will say is that it's solid. It's certainly not in the upper echelon of the Prince catalog.
Yeah.
But when you look at, such a prolific artist, but that output towards the end of his life, especially, a lot of stuff wasn't very good. So when I said in the review,
dude, you put out 1,000 songs, you're about to get some goodies in there,
Yeah. And so what I said in that album or in that review is that, it's easily one of his best albums in the last 20 years when you consider all the other stuff that's come out. Okay. But I think the Prince Vault is one of the most fascinating things out there. I mean, no one really knows how much is in there. My big concern with it is so this particular new record, Welcome to America, was something that he recorded in 2010. So the project was put together. They went out on a tour of the same name, they were supposed to release the album to correspond with that, and he just never did for whatever reason. It just wasn't up to his standards. And so to get to the point, what I'm really concerned about is how many of these songs are actually organized and, laid out in an album format that was, true to a concept that would have been something he would have been proud of, because he's, very, very critical, very much a stickler. I would just hate to see someone arbitrarily go into that vault and just start arranging Prince songs all willy-nilly and then calling it albums and releasing it. So,
Prince is dead though, right?
Yeah, he's been dead for 5 years now, man.
Okay, I thought so. I was like, there's a new Prince album, but then you said it was made in 2010 and it just was never released.
Yeah, okay. And it's going to be something, I think, with Bowie's a guy that's done it as well. I mean, two of my favorite performers of all time, dead within about 3 months of each other. That was easily one of the most devastating periods, like musically as a fan for me. I mean, David Bowie was one of my favorites growing up.
Me too. Love David Bowie.
Especially physically looking a little different from other kids. Like Bowie was one of those first people that, like, especially when I started getting into rock and roll music, just how different and how squirrely he was sometimes. And I'm just like, yeah, like that guy, I mean, he rocks it. Whatever he's doing, it's confidence. I mean, everything about his persona. I just love what he exuded. So I really miss that guy. I miss Prince a lot. And I think with a lot of artists giving what these two guys have done and what other artists have done after their passing, you're going to see a lot of performers maybe have that vault, you know, see posthumous albums released a lot more. And I think it's a cool thing. You know, especially, I mean, I went to school, did English lit. So it constantly reminds me of so many writers who didn't even become famous until after they were dead. So it's a very common thing. I mean, that's the difference there, is that these, you know, they obviously have a fan base when they're alive, but, you know, you do see a lot of authors traditionally in the past that, you know, their body of work really comes to light after their passing. And so I think it's a cool thing. I think it's a great way to stay relevant as an artist too. I mean, you know, I know long after I'm gone, if I had some type of mark or staple, it'd be cool to be able to somehow pass that on and continue it. So I like what's going on with that.
Well, just to let everybody know, this guy is clearly very well versed in music, and he has a YouTube channel called The Beat Sessions. It's under his name right there. Also, if you just click down below in the description, it is the link over to his YouTube channel. Please go give him a follow. This guy, every single time he does an album review, I mean, you do, man, how many do you do a week?
I try to do about 5 a week.
5 a week. All right. So he's reviewing, he did Billie Eilish recently. You did the new Prince album, Logic.
Bleachers put out a new record on Friday.
David
Jack Antonoff.
Crosby.
If you're not familiar with Jack Antonoff, he was the original guitar player for the band Fun, who I'm not, like, great pop music. I mean, obviously I own some records because great stuff to play at weddings, events like that. But this guy, Jack Antonoff, has produced Taylor Swift's last 2 records, Folklore, and I'm drawing a blank on the other one, Something Lore. But he produced those 2 records. He produced Lana Del Rey's new record, Chemtrails Over the Country Club, St. Vincent's new record, Daddy's Home, which is a phenomenal album if you've not listened to that. So Jack Antonoff basically has been the go-to guy for production in the last year and a half. So Bleachers is his solo project. That album came out on Friday. And oddly enough, St. Vincent actually helped him produce that record. So you're getting a lot of back and forth with these artists working together and just getting just amazing music. That St. Vincent album especially, she is so underrated as a musician.
Who's that?
St. Vincent. Annie Clark is her. Yeah, Annie Clark is her real name.
Okay.
Just a remarkable multi-instrumentalist. And you hear these songs, and she's incorporating, you know, funk and jazz into all these great pop songs. She plays the sitar throughout this new record. That's not
cool.
That's not something you just pick up casually, you know?
Yeah, right.
So, you know, her ability alone to play that thing as well as she does on this record,
you know,
really a testament to her talent. So yeah, Jack Antonoff, Bleachers, check that record out. It's a pretty quick listen. I think it's like 34 minutes or something like that. But
okay.
He's, you know, whether he's writing the songs or producing them, that dude is solid.
Nice. Well, definitely everyone go check him out on the Beat Sessions. I've been seeing that mug. I gotta say, that is a nice, sexy mug. Look at that thing. Crigler coffee. Now, for those who don't know, Mitchell is my partner for the Crigler Coffee Company. So he helps me pick blends. You are actually incredibly more knowledgeable about coffee than I am. Let's talk about coffee. Let's rap about it. Have, you know, I love coffee. I actually have an article. We were talking earlier about how coffee prices may be rising. I actually have something that we can reference right here to just kind of, we both kind of, I heard about it and you didn't know about it. So I'm gonna
I was gonna say, pull it up. If
I got it. I got it right here. Let me pop this.
Because while he's doing that, I will assure all of our customers that our wholesaler has not informed me of any price increase. So you'll be getting that same delicious Crigler coffee.
But why coffee prices might be increasing in 2021? Let's see here. The trend seemed fit to continue the whole year. The harvest for coffee has been subpar. One of the biggest reasons why many parts of the world may see a rise in coffee prices is due to a subpar harvest. This is an issue that had been plaguing many regions throughout the 2020 and into the present year. Part of it obviously has to do with the lack of ability to work in close quarters due to the pandemic. But the global pandemic has not been the only reason why the outlook for coffee harvesting is less than ideal. There are also a great many environmental and labor-related issues to consider. These are issues that have caused a great many logistical problems and that have resulted in a hike for prices around the world. Okay, so it seems that, and that makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
People aren't able to get to work in close quarters. I've been hearing from different farmers and different people that have been talking about different harvests that they've normally gotten, because I have my own house now. I'm going to have a garden. So I've been doing some research on gardening and learning about, I feel like I'm a sponge. I'm taking information from all over the place, but I learned
you do that normally, man.
Yeah, I know. That's right. It's like basically my job now. And I've learned that the yields of everything, not just coffee, but across the board, all yields have been lacking this year, which is kind of frightening, because take a step back and look at the implications of what that is. It's kind of frightening, but we're going to stick with coffee. But our coffee though is we're good. We're not planning on raising our prices any more than they are. I think they're fairly decent prices. But man, they're delicious.
Yeah, certainly a big part of our business model when we were putting this thing together and talking about it. Both of us like to drink good coffee, and good coffee can be expensive, especially when you start factoring in the the shipping costs, which is really funny. Someone sent me an email today, and they're like, I would subscribe if you figured out a way to not make your customers pay for shipping. And I'm like, well, no offense, guys, but it's either you or us. So I don't really know how to ameliorate that situation.
We could raise the price a little bit.
we could do that.
Include shipping. A lot of people are asking for international shipping. So let's talk about international shipping, because a lot of people, for example, people in chat, I'll be like, I want to support you. Can we get international coffee? So the problem with that is shipping, number one. And two is the freshness of the beans. But really, it's the shipping, because shipping is a big issue. It costs a lot to ship worldwide, especially if you're just going to get a little bag. It costs more to ship the bag that's small than the coffee itself.
I would say if we were going to send you just with like a 12-ounce bag, just with standard shipping, that's assuming that it gets there in 4 to 6 weeks. It's funny because we were talking about and that bag of coffee that I sent him. Yeah. And I literally was looking at the pricing of, the different options that I had. And every single one of them, there was no guarantee on a single one of them. Like I asked the guy, I was like, if I pay a certain dollar amount, because I was like, this is a guy that, like Adam's been on his show. We want him to review the coffee. We would like to get it there fresh. And they're like, yeah, there's no way we can guarantee it. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm just going to go with the standard 3-week shipping then. Because you could pay hundreds of dollars more and still have it there in the same amount of time. So apparently the Postal Service in Great Britain is about as solid as ours is right now. And
that's so terrible.
I know, man. And it really is this unfortunate situation of, our hands are tied as far as, we can track your coffee in our facility as it's bagged. Once it leaves our facility, though, it's kind of out of our hands. There's really not a whole lot that we can do. There is a tracking number that, is sent to all of your emails once you do make an order, and we can always resend that to you. And if there really is a big problem, you can always email us at the Crigler coffee at protonemail.com. I'm the guy that answers those emails, so you'll be dealing with me. We can contact the roaster, and they have a little more specific information, but basically all they can tell you is just where it's at. And so when I was tracking that package for they were basically like, yeah, it's arrived in Great Britain and it's sitting there somewhere, like no one's checked it in. It's just in a warehouse somewhere. So a big part of it is wanting to be consistent with our business model, wanting to avoid as many hiccups as possible. And really, in order to do our coffee the way that we want to do that, roasted fresh to order, have it arrive at your doorstep in a timely manner, we would need a facility somewhere in Europe to do that. The thing about coffee is, you can transport the beans. I mean, the timetable is open, but once they're roasted, the clock starts ticking. And so that's really the big factor that we're working with. And wanting to, outplay guys like Black Rifle Coffee and Starbucks and some of those other companies that, they just roast. There's no telling when you go to a store, even if you're in a Starbucks, like how old that coffee actually is.
Exactly.
So, it's what I love about our business model. It's what I think, sets our coffee apart from a lot of our competitors, and why I think it's so great. And I think that you can agree with everything I've said there.
That's take it away, Mitchell. I mean, well, what are you drinking right now? Is that coffee?
This is coffee right here, and this is actually from my buddy's company, but it is in Ethiopia, and so that was
wait,
whoa,
I'm sorry, what?
So I do have Crigler coffee, but I have a really good friend of mine that I went to college with. Very similar business model. They do local here in Tucson, Arizona, where I'm at, and so I do like to support his business. He just had a baby like 8 months ago, so.
Oh my goodness, this guy!
I can alternate between days. I drink Crigler coffee one day and then Yellow Brick coffee the other day. So both are phenomenal.
And we lost Mitchell, so I'm just going to be talking about coffee myself now, because Crigler coffee's the best coffee, and
I do believe we are the superior coffee. I will say you didn't get.
Thank you. All right, thank you. I thought if I brought you back, then maybe you can. The
reason I brought that up though is because talking about our beans, our selection that we offer.
Yeah,
we do have an Ethiopian coffee. If you look at the history of coffee, Ethiopia is basically like the mecca, the origin of pretty much everything that we drink today.
Yeah.
However, Ethiopian coffees, like the one I'm drinking right now, the one that we offer, tend to be somewhat light-bodied, kind of floral, airy. A lot of them have this quality. Some people refer to it as mashy. Like think of like
mashy,
kind of like a tomatoey kind of quality. There's like this acidic quality.
I didn't like it. It's not my flavor. And how do you pronounce it too? Yirgacheffe?
Yirgacheffe, yeah.
It's Yirgacheffe. Okay.
From the people that I've spoken to. Potato. I think you're pronouncing it just fine, buddy.
Yirgacheffe. All right, that's how I've been pronouncing it. But yeah, that's not really my flavor. I really like the Catalyst blend. I really like the Commodore's Reserve. But yeah, this one is very distinct. It's like a different. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a different blend. Yeah. So this bean in particular is basically kind of like three roasting profiles that we work with. We don't do a lot of light stuff. Actually, the Peruvian, the single origin Peruvian from the women's co-op that we offer is a light roast. If you're looking for a single origin there, and then actually the Cafefe blend is a light roast that we offer. Gotta love the Cafefe blend. Wait. Tell us more. Talk about the women's co-op. Which one is that again?
So that's the Peruvian coffee that we offer.
The Peruvian, yeah. Tell us about that.
Well, and so, I mean, real quick, there's obviously a long history of free trade versus fair trade, especially when it comes to coffee coming out of South America and Central America. And so, a lot of that has to deal with just call it traditional behavior, if you will, of women just not having a right to own land, have their stake in the claim. And so with this co-op, we are buying beans from all female farmers, setting a precedent for women to be on that level playing field to farm just as well as the men do down there. So it's a really cool coffee for that reason, giving these women this opportunity. And it's a wonderful bean. Again, it's going to be very much like that Ethiopian bean, light. Yeah. It's got so you can think of coffee in a lot of ways like wine if you're a wine drinker. And this Ethiopian coffee, this Peruvian coffee that we're talking about, we're definitely more in like your Pinot Noir territory, where it's all about like nuances and flavors and the way they come together versus this full-bodied sensation, which is what I think a lot of our coffee drinkers are looking for in a coffee. And so thankfully we do mostly medium to dark roast. Most of our coffees are medium. The Commodore's Reserve, the new coffee that we introduced to help support 22 until none, is actually a medium to dark roast. It's an in-between that we're roasting that coffee to. So it's the Peruvian coffee is interesting because or I should say the Ethiopian coffee is interesting because it's much like the Cafefe blend. You have this bean that we're roasting, and you would think that with the Cafefe blend for it does have a nice full body. It does have this kind of like nutty flavor profile. It seems to run kind of counter to the light roast, but with our roaster, they do a lot of job of cupping the coffee. They'll get an order of beans and then they'll sit there and pull the beans as they roast at different temperatures and cup them that way. And so with all of our coffees, actually, they're roasting them to a temperature that they have found out of all the other ones that they've tested is the satisfactory temperature to draw out all the flavors and nuances of the particular bean. And now keep in mind, what really makes up the big feature of all that flavor is how and where the bean is grown. Mm-hmm. To a certain degree, you can roast and give a bean a different flavor profile and I guess highlight those nuances a little more. But the flavor of the coffee really is based on the minerality of the soil, what the growing conditions were like, the altitude that the coffee is grown at. And more so than anything, actually, the way you brew your coffee can add more body to it. That's why I like the French press. If you brew in a French press or something that doesn't have a filter system, because those filters, what they do more than anything is trap the oils in the coffee. And so losing all those oil, you lose a lot of flavor, you lose a lot of body in the coffee through like K-cups and things of that nature. Yeah. It's one of the reasons, aside from the fact that I just don't think we have the means to do it right now, that we don't do K-cups. But know that if you're looking for a fuller bodied coffee, that your conventional drip system with that filter or your K-cup is keeping a lot of those oils from dripping down into your coffee. And that's part of the reason that it's not as full bodied as it could be.
Someone in chat just said, Kappa Luwak blend when? Would we even be able to do that? Isn't that like super expensive?
I mean, if people were willing to pay for it, I mean, I don't know. That's been the crazy thing about running this business and what has made it so fun. It's like, what is the next step? We don't know. I mean, as much as I would love to have a roastery in Europe and in other places, I think, maybe having custom bags, some other different merchandise. I mean, who knows? I mean, we can
honestly, I like the bags because it's not about the bag. It's not about the showing off. It's about the coffee. It's good coffee. All right. Yep. It's got a roast bag. I mean, the bag, it's not flashy, guys. If you guys have gotten Crigler coffee, it's not about the bag. It's about the delicious coffee because the coffee is. Mwah.
I think there's something classic about the austerity of it, honestly. Like I love the look as well.
For those who don't know what the Kapaluak coffee is, it's actually wild cats. Someone's saying weasels. It's not weasels. It's actually cats that have eaten the coffee bean and passed it through. And after they go and collect the beans afterwards, I guess the acid in the belly of the cat does something to the bean. It makes it different. So
yeah. So let me amend that last statement. The composition of the soil / tummy composition of whatever animal is digesting said bean is going to dictate the majority of what the flavor of the bean will be like. So that stuff. I have not yet been able to try any of that. I don't know if I don't know if I can afford it. Honestly, it sounds.
I would try it
if I had the opportunity to try it. I totally would.
Yeah,
I would try. Like, hey, I got this. I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. But I don't know if I'd go out of my way to like pay for it myself. I'm not that rich. So I'm not rich at all, actually.
I know, right? One day we will be, Mitchell.
One day, hopefully. But in the meantime, no, I'm really I'm loving running this business with you. I'm loving our business model. I love for those of you who don't know, we're not advertising on Facebook and all these other social media platforms because they literally want all of your information. And while I know that there's nothing that we can do about what Shopify is giving away, I know that we can prevent companies like Facebook and all these other social media giants from having your personal information. That's not something that we feel needs to be passed on to our customers. So could we have
word of mouth, baby?
Word of mouth,
All you, chat. It's all you, chat. You guys are the best.
Hopefully Homeboy from Black Rifle Coffee just keeps running his mouth. That's been excellent.
I know. I mean, it's like, all right, I've gotten Black Rifle coffee. It's not bad coffee. It's actually, it was fairly decent. And I'm like, all right, this is pretty good coffee. Obviously it was before I started my own coffee company that now I only drink my own coffee. But man, it is crazy how much he has thrown, which is essentially his entire base under the bus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the thing that's most appalling about it is that, I mean, especially coming from a veteran, you have a company. I just keep laughing about this email that your sister Chelsea sent to me the other day. She is like, hey, someone's asking me about coffee. Like, what's the most similar thing to the murdered outblend? And I'm just like, good grief, murdered outblend. Like, and you're wondering why this riffraff is buying your coffee, why you have to repudiate yourself from these people, and in the process alienate your entire customer base. It's like, dude, like your entire image is based off this, like, just false, violent image of, I guess, like what a true veteran is. Like, I mean, I guess they're out there, but I know many men and women that have served their country that are intellectuals. They're gentle human beings. This is not the type of business model or structure that they would support or, you know, even condone in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You know, like someone was telling me.
Montana Horseman just said Black Rifle coffee flavor cannot wipe out the woke flavor they add now. I like that. That's funny.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's like, I mean, it just you align yourself with violent imagery, and so, like, what did you expect in the process? Right. And that's something that from the day one on your show, it has been a integral part of your message. Violence is not the answer in any way, shape, or form. And so obviously, like, I mean, you got this idiot making shirts with like a cartoon hipster and a target over it. It's like, come on, man. Like, what did you expect? You know, and then it's so asinine.
Didn't he? I think he was planning on or threatening that he was going to dox Alex Jones or something. And it's like, why are you starting battles? Why are you? Yeah. He's going above and beyond to piss off his base. It's almost like he's happy about it. Like, yeah, great.
Yeah, I mean, is your coffee business failed that much that you need to find a new toxic hobby? Like
maybe,
dude. After the whole experience in November with the FBI showing up at your house, I mean, so frustrating, man. It is so irritating knowing that people are just so puerile and petty out there that, you know, they're wasting government resources. I mean, you want to talk about not raising taxes and all this stuff? Well, knock that crap off. You know, I mean, it's insane to me that people find this behavior acceptable in any way, shape, or form.
I honestly, thinking back about that. So for those who don't know, the FBI came to my house after I flew to Arizona because that's where my residence was. And I was registered to vote there. And they claimed that they were investigating a report that someone thought that I was going to buy a gun and go up to the Senate building in Phoenix, Arizona, and do something with it, which I don't know if you know me at all, but I am not violent. I would never do that. That's insane talk. I think what they were trying to do was get a openly vocal Trump supporter on voter fraud so that they could, because they were you know, they were asking me if I live there. And I was like, yeah, I was actually packing a moving truck. Like, I was literally moving all of my stuff into a moving truck when they walked up to me. And I'm like, yeah, I do live here. I'm literally moving right now. Now that I'm actually packing my stuff, I'm moving away. And they're like, oh, that's all your stuff. And you're literally moving right now. Okay, bye. They didn't even ask me if I got a gun. They didn't even ask me, like, they didn't follow up on anything. So it was like, clearly it had nothing to do with the gun stuff, which I did buy a gun, which is crazy. Like, right. I mean, it's not that I was, it was a 22. I was using it for target shooting, but still, I mean,
it's like, not to mention, like, you're like, while we're at it, is there a reason why a certain family member of mine who hasn't lived in the state for about 8 years is registered as a Democrat when I went to go vote as well?
I didn't talk about that. I didn't want to, bring.
Oh, I know, but I mean, I know it was going through your head, like.
Yeah, it was they were registered as a Democrat. Funny enough, but man,
and thankfully enough, those guys were actually pretty reasonable to deal with.
Yeah, they were nice, and they were both ladies actually. But so they were, but they were like, yeah, okay, well, you seem legit, you seem coherent, you seem chill. We're out here. I'm like, okay. They said the case is closed, and they just had to get it. So, all right. I was like, all right, well, have a good day. I'm gonna go back to packing. Like, I have nothing to hide. Whatever. Bye. Like, all right.
You're like, I host a YouTube show and I skateboard. Like, yeah, I got. What do you want to know?
Yeah, right. I'm not a threat. So, all right. Let's read some super chats. I've got a lot of
time. Right on.
Super chat's coming in.
Props to you, chat. Spin the UFO, F Bezos, all the good stuff.
Awesome. I love it. And guys, remember, please go follow Mitchell over at the Beat Sessions. I want to help blow his channel up. He deserves so many more views than he's getting because he does a really good job. He's very informed. I mean, you DJ also, and you actually lug that you can't even see his collection of vinyl. You only see 2 shelves right now. That's
so big. This is the starting of the wall that goes this way.
He's got a nice wall of vinyl there, and he actually lugs vinyl to each spot that he DJs at. It's pretty cool.
It's funny because this thing is just right up here. It's almost like ironic. Remember this guy? Adam was with me when I bought this record.
Steel Panther.
These guys, if you like 80s metal, if you don't know who these guys are, you need to check them out.
Steel Panther, man. They're not from the 80s. They are new and still touring right now.
Look how dirty that pink vinyl is, dude. It's so funny.
That's fantastic. All right, let's see. We got Robert Wiles says, "You're a good man and friend, Adam. Have a blessed soul. Have a blessed day and blessed life. Doing what you love. Thanks for all you do for us, Adam." Thank you, Robert. Mark G says, "Is your day going at 80 BPM? Wish it was at 200 BPM? Then drink Crigler coffee. Guaranteed to make your heartbeat match any song. Consult doctor if your heartbeat is constantly over 200 BPM.
Yeah, you should definitely probably do that.
Yeah, definitely call your doctor.
And you should probably stop drinking the coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Barney Boyle says, "Just wanted to give you props for defending Tim." Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You did that was a nice piece yesterday, by the way, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Mark G says, "So what's Mitchell's thought on music NFTs?"
Man, I think like anything else, they can be a really cool asset for artists in the future. I think there's a lot of very uncertain territory that needs to be navigated before people commit to this. You know what? It was funny. Something that's really been a topic of debate and conversation, the 360 contract. If you're not familiar with that, basically that is a record deal where the record company owns your rights to like touring royalties, merchandise royalties, all this stuff, which, on its surface level sounds crappy. But you got guys like J. Cole, all these other cats that, as they understand more about it and they see the potential in it. Because in the past, like if you signed a record deal and your record tanked, then, they just drop you. They cut you. Whereas, now with the 360 contract, if you're making a good deal, if your album doesn't necessarily do that well, but you have a solid fan base, you can go out on tour, sell the heck out of your merchandise and your tickets and make money that way. And so record companies are starting to see more potential there. So there's a similar situation, I feel like, with NFTs as far as artists, like maintaining the value of their music. And especially with stuff like this, I think, these are kind of like mini little NFTs as well. It's not like I can break this in half and, this particular record is worth $40. Let's just say I can't break it in half and you got $20 worth of a record. It doesn't work like that. True. But it's pretty wild when I was going back and cataloging all this. I have records that I bought in like college 15 years ago that for like $20-25 that are worth $200. Like I'm looking at, like, I got this copy of AFI Sing the Sorrow, if you're into them at all. I remember buying that record for like $30. It's on this really cool red vinyl. That thing's worth $200 now. So, I see NFTs working in a very similar way in the future. But again, it's not anything that as an artist I would jump into right off the bat. I think that it's something that you should certainly take the time and put your research in, do your due diligence. And, if you find it's the right move for your art and what you want to do moving forward, then go for it.
Yeah. Right on. Let's see what else we got. Sebastian says, "Shout out to Elle from some btoldme.com. She's organizing pushback against vaccine passports, and I'm trying to get awareness for her. Possible guest appearance for her in the future. Tweet sent." So I don't swear on my show, but the website is some bitch toldme.com. I actually am in contact with Elle. She's fantastic. She wants me on her to join her. I would love to have her on my show. I think I'm gonna wait until I have no strikes on my channel.
What? That's like 2 weeks. We got maybe a week and a half or something like that.
August 15th, I think my only now I only have one strike currently, but I have a feeling having L on my show, I'll get a strike. So,
let's be real, man. The way it's played out, it's worth it. If the conversation is right and worth having, at this point, it's like, screw them taking our money, man. The message is more important.
Yeah.
And I think your fan base is much more appreciative of that integrity and, staying true to your message.
Well, maybe I should do an interview on my Odyssey channel. I can actually do a show with her on my Odyssey channel and then continue doing my regular show and say, I did an interview with L. We got into it. We both gave our full opinion, and YouTube wouldn't let us talk about it here, so we went over to Odyssey and yeah, you know what? Let's do that. That sounds great.
Yeah, man, it's the beauty of some of these freer platforms that we're working with. I mean, obviously, we don't have the potential audience that's there with YouTube, but people are drifting away. I think people are getting sick of it and seeking out other platforms for that. Yeah,
Elle is awesome. She is incredibly informed.
I would love to. I don't know much about her, but I would love to see you do an interview with her.
She's great. Yeah, she's great. So, she's been banned off of Twitter. I don't even know how many times, but she keeps coming back.
How have you not been yet? Like, I'm still surprised.
Oh, me?
Yeah, because you still keep it spicy on Twitter. You don't hold back.
I don't hold back on Twitter, and I'm spicy on Twitter. I swear on Twitter. I'm calling out the president all the time. I can't believe I'm still on Twitter. It's true. I'm a little spicy on there, man.
I'll mention that about my show too. My show really isn't necessarily geared towards children, especially the Sunday night show. So if you're looking for more adult entertainment, that is
so you swear on your show.
Yeah. All right. I try not to do too much. I mean, not so
you shouldn't, dude.
But
you shouldn't. Trust me. If you swear, the algorithms know, and they change the way your videos are seen. I'm not joking, dude. I learned this from Tim. And if there's something you know about Tim, he knows the algorithms of YouTube.
Tim knows.
Dude. All right. So try not to swear. I'm telling you, you'll get more views. No joke. All right, let's see. JB says vaccine passports coming to Canada, Quebec first. I mean, it's everywhere. New York is now doing it. California's doing it.
I couldn't believe New York made the move. I was so disappointed to read that.
It's such a bummer, man.
What more would you expect from that garbage person, though?
Those two states, man. California and New York, dude. I'm so grateful I don't live in New York anymore.
Dude, two places that meant a lot to us 8 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yep, both of those places,
even
man.
5 years ago, man. Like you and I both.
I was living in New York 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I love New York for what New York was to me. It's no longer that place, and it's really a bummer. And honestly, it's the exact same statement for California, because I live there as well, and it's a bummer because California is beautiful. Flame Wars, the cancel culture card game, is available on Indiegogo. Secure your copy by helping us reach our crowdfunding goal. Great show, Adam. Thank you, Flame Wars. Good luck on your crowdfunding. Mark G says 433 is the best song ever. Changed my mind. What is that? 433.
I'm not sure.
Well, it's 4 foot 33 inches with the little. It's 4 and then the little foot and then 33 with the little inches symbol. I don't know what that is, Mark G, but you know what we didn't talk about? The new Tool album. That was amazing. Like I have to bring it up because
433 is by John Cage. That's a John Cage song. Not familiar with it, unfortunately.
John Cage. Oh, I don't know it. Yeah. But the new Tool album. So you and I went and saw Tool when they were touring. When was that? 2020?
Dude, it was like
February.
It was like 6 months before lockdown, or like 6 weeks before lockdown. It literally was the best show that we could have possibly seen before all this. You know what hit the fan?
Yeah, it really was. Yeah,
I mean,
man,
where they're at with their live show, as far as just, I mean, Maynard aside, I like to focus on Danny, Justin, and Adam. Arguably 3 of the best musicians on the planet right now playing together. And you see these guys live, and they were remarkable.
They were amazing.
Their energy, really the way they vibe off each other, and then visually, what they're incorporating into their live show. The laser light element, what's going on stage. I mean, really just excellent production. That is one of those, I mean, $200 for a ticket, $250 for a ticket, and you get there and you're like, yeah, man, I'm getting my money's worth. Those guys are incredible.
Absolutely. Someone just said Tool is overrated. You are absolutely crazy, sir.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you on that. I think
wow.
I think what's bumming a lot of Tool fans out these days is that, you know, there's a lot of fans that really like Undertow, Opiate, that hard sound. Paul D'Amore, especially on bass, he was the one that cultivated that original kind of distinct Tool sound, and then Justin Chancellor carried it on. But I mean, Justin Chancellor is brilliant in his own right. I think he's one of the best bass players on the planet. But you know, their sound it mellowed out. It got more melodic. They got old. It happens. Like it's right. I mean, it's not something new that you see with. I mean, you see it with a lot of musicians. But what I will say about their sound, and what I will say about metal music in general, is that I'm kind of a snob. Like that melodic element has got to be there. I know a lot of people who listen to stuff solely for just the technicality of it, and you know, a lot of that stuff just gets lost on me. You know, I need the harmonies, I need the melodies. Tool, their timing sequences, the structure of their music, and the way they're incorporating melodies and hooks into that. It's just, I'm blown away by what they do constantly. I think they're remarkable musicians. So
I agree.
Fear Inoculum, I was well worth the wait. I think it's a brilliant record. Obviously, would always love to have more, but I mean, that the thing's got like an 85-minute runtime already. So
true that.
What bums me out is that they didn't release it on vinyl because of the way they did the CD package. It's got that,
which is pretty dope. But
man, I tell you what, I'm one of those nerds. I'm a big enough fan. I would pay $400 for that LP. Like for that 12, dude, for that 12-inch LED screen. Could you imagine seeing that?
Like an LP version,
like the full LP version of that digital screen that they have. I mean, it would run you probably $400 or $500, but it would be gorgeous. It would be worth it.
If you were able to buy it from them and not have to get it through scalpers.
Yeah, absolutely. But what they should do is this is Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, like a package like this, and it's beautiful. It's kind of just like a bookend almost.
Yeah, it's
nice.
So,
I mean, you could set something up like this and just have that just going right there, and I mean, it would essentially be the same package. You could incorporate the screen into the gatefold, build it in that way. Lots of ways to go about that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, how many people are going to want to pay $500 for a record? That's
true. They would sell out, guaranteed.
Which they would.
Robert Shaw says, F Blizzos, I want to watch the Vawash debate, and I didn't realize anything new and feel dumber for watching. It felt like a high school argument. Oh, are you talking about Charlie Kirk versus Vaush on Timcast? Nah. Yeah, I started watching it, and I couldn't. Vaush really frustrates me. He keeps it calm, and he doesn't. Yeah, I don't even care. I don't want to talk about those guys. It's not worth my time and energy. Robert Shaw says Springsteen is overrated. Ears bleed. Whoa.
Oh, gonna respectfully disagree on that one too.
If my mom heard you say that, my mom is a big, huge Springsteen fan. In fact, she's probably in chat right now. I'd want you to know, Mark Robershaw, that you just crossed the line. Not with me. I actually don't really know Springsteen's music at all. So
one of the best shows I've ever seen. He played for
him live.
He played for so I saw him back in 2001, right when he put out The Rising. Yeah, and he played for probably like 4 hours. He did 3 encores when I saw him. He's a beast. He is
That's a long show. Yep. The only band that I saw that did that was Beck. I saw Beck in Paris, and he played for like 4 hours. Dude brought out a dinner table and ate dinner on stage with his whole band.
That's such a Beck thing to do, dude. That's so cool.
And then they started playing music with all like the food and the drinks and like silverware. Man, that was a cool show. That was awesome. Arcadian Twilight says, creativity by committee, art by algorithm, all for the soul, low bar of global standards is nothing but by suck and fail. F the perpetually offended. It was a long tweet, but yeah, I mean,
and definitely that last part.
Definitely that last part. Yeah.
Higher to your feelings.
Robert Shaw says, one of my favorite songs, I Would Die for You. Okay.
Yeah.
DJ Ronnie says, George Harrison is my favorite Beatle, and today's guest is all right. Yes, he is. And if you couldn't tell by now, this guy is incredibly knowledgeable about the music world. Okay. I mean, in general, yes, actually, because you are also a historian. We haven't even like talked about your knowledge as far as like human history and stuff, which is always fun to talk to you about. But man, your music knowledge is incredible. So if you think this is good, go search the Beat Sessions on YouTube. It's the link is down below. Definitely go subscribe, because he's been dropping 5 album reviews a week, and they're so well. You're very articulate. You're very clear about what you're trying to say about it, and it's so natural because you live in that world, man. So definitely go check it out, you guys. Definitely.
Thanks, man. I agree with him on that Harrison statement too. He definitely had the best solo career out of all of them.
Robert Shaw says, "Have you done a Ginger Pisces review? Is that a band that you know of, Ginger?"
It is not.
I don't know it, Robert Shaw.
I'll check it out though.
Jay Rico says, "Have you all heard Aaron Lewis's new music? Thoughts?"
I have not. I know that he solo wise started making a move into like the country realm, which I grew up in Prescott, Arizona, kind of like a rural spot in northern Arizona. So I like my country music. I can get down 2-step a little bit. I have not heard the new Aaron Lewis record, and I'm making an assumption here. Like I don't even know if it is a country style record. It could be rock. I don't know.
Okay. I just got a super chat jump. Give me a second. All right, here we go. Schwerwer Gustav, the 800 millimeter railway gun. I'm gonna say it, Adam. Nirvana is absurdly overrated, overhyped, as well as overplayed on the radio today. That's right, I said it. Fight me. That's a good conversation. I know what I'm gonna say here, but I want to hear what you have to say about it first.
I definitely agree, but you cannot deny the influence. And sometimes success is really just right place, right time, and having what people want on their plate. And Nirvana had that. I mean, Nirvana just had that recipe.
Right. I mean, objectively, they were, okay, but they were so. You're right. It's like the timing, and as I was mentioning earlier about like people nowadays are afraid to try something new. It's like Nirvana was very. I mean, it had a grittiness. It really, I mean, they may be overhyped, overrated, but
yeah,
they fill the void there,
I think it's something that, honestly, we've kind of seen it ongoing through the 80s, but I think you get to the back end of a decade of what is described mostly as excess, and this big counterculture movement that is, really jaded and tired of that. And, a lot of people were kind of just like burnt out on that excessive like 80s flair. And so, yeah, I mean, I can see why a movement like grunge took off the way it did. Absolutely.
Sure. And I really like Nirvana. I just want to say that also.
I would say Nirvana Unplugged in New York is probably one of the best records of the 90s. That I think that I don't know. I think Nirvana holds up and is classic because of that album. I don't know. I would probably agree with you more honestly with the overrated statement had they never released Unplugged. But I think you get to see a dynamic of his creativity, his songwriting ability, play out in a way that just is not realized on any other record. That album is brilliant.
Okay, I can see that. Sectus Gaming says, "Yo, where's Newport? I haven't seen a real spin in forever. Also, roll it. Tucker wants a 7. God bless." Thank you, Sectus. I don't have any dice with me, and Newport is packed in a box, unfortunately, in the slowest, cheapest way to move. Despite being in that compound, I don't have Tim Pool money. It's expensive to move. This is the last time I have to move. I'm grateful for that, but just waiting for my stuff. It's in the slow, pack it in a box. I don't have to move it myself, which is fantastic. Packed it in a truck and just waiting for it to arrive. So it'll get here eventually, and I'll roll you. You know what? I could get a random die generator.
Do it. I'm in the same ballpark, buddy. I am hoping to own the structure around me here in about 4 weeks. It would be nice to fully own the beat instead of renting it. I would be very happy. My landlord, however, is an amazing man, lovely human being. He's offering me a really nice deal on this house. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't buy with the way the market is right now. But
he's great. That's awesome. Are you going to be able to end up with it? That'd be fantastic.
That's 4 weeks. So I had to play the game with the loan officer. So I'm working like 70 hours a week because thankfully I had 2 employers before COVID happened that kept me on payroll. So I was able to go back to both of those jobs. And
nice.
I'm able to work part-time. So I talked to a number of loan officers that pretty much said the same thing. So I think by the end of this month, with the amount that I've been working, should be good to go there. Which
dude, I'm hyped for you.
Dude, yeah, man, I'm really excited about it too. I mean, it's a great space. It's 1,500 square feet. I'm in here by myself, so it would be awesome to. I mean, you've seen the layout. It would be great to kind of like mow this middle pillar down and have an open space to where I could have bands come in and play on the opposite side of the house. It'd be really cool to, in the future down the road as my show develops, to have more live performers in there and have full bands as opposed to, just someone playing their acoustic into one of my blue microphones. So
is that happened before?
Well, I mean, that's I've had a couple of guests on the show that have played guitar, and it sounds all right. I mean, it doesn't sound bad. It doesn't pick my.
What kind of guests do you get?
So on Sundays I try to keep it a culture show. So a lot of musicians, but I've had a chef on the show. The chef that he's the executive chef up at Westward Look. It's a resort here in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
I've had a gentleman from a local dispensary. So we were talking about the marijuana industry, especially since the legalization in Arizona just occurred. So, what that scene looks like, how, what you can expect from that in the coming years. And so, I mean, just trying to, obviously a lot of this stuff ties back into music. Music is a major component of culture, obviously. So it's pretty easy to kind of balance all that stuff out and keep the conversations within that context.
Yeah. Right on. DJ Ronnie says, thank you both for providing good coffee. Among other things, it has allowed me to reduce my plastic waste. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's
right on.
Cheers.
You know what? I was gonna mention this earlier too. We were talking about bags and stuff. So for those of you, I've gotten some emails about the compostable bags. So what you're not being told about those compostable bags is that there's a liner on the inside of most of them that is biodegradable. But that is just because it's biodegradable doesn't mean you want it in your compost. It probably takes a year and a half for that to break down. So it's still sitting in your compost. So it's one of those things where like those bags, unfortunately, are not as well.
It's also for people who are putting them in their recycles and then it's being taken away, so they know at least it's going to break down instead of sit as plastic.
We'll always have bags that you can recycle, but as far as those compostable bags, I know they seem great, and hopefully someone develops a bag down the road where it is 100% compostable. But pretty much all of them have that liner on the inside. So be wary if you're just throwing those in your compost. If you keep one, it's not all that it's cracked up to be.
Robert Shaw says, once shipping leaves the city, prices are in orbit. Well, you got that right. Sejong says, look here, non-domestics. I love you all in chat, but if you want that sweet, sweet freedom loving Crigler coffee, you're going to have to apply to be American. Come taste the fresh roasted freedom. That's pretty good. I like that one, Sejong.
Dude, I love the Crigler coffee ads that people throw in, man. That just one of my favorite parts of chat.
I mean, one of these days we're going to have to go and like collect them all because they're so good. And I've had countless, easily over 30 or 40 of them. Easily.
Well, the future is going to definitely involve some commercials, I think. Some fun stuff.
Okay, yeah. Daniel Humphreys says, did you send my coffee like in the new house? Yes, I absolutely am. I do love it. I didn't send your coffee. I actually totally forgot about that whole thing.
Who do I need to send coffee to? Daniel Humphreys?
Yeah.
All right.
Failed bread. I totally forgot about this. Listen, I think wait, actually, let me check because I think he whispered me his address. Hold on, I think I got your. I feel like a fool here that
Daniel, I got you, dog. We'll get you set up.
I think where is even Whispers? Here we go, Whispers. Get out of here. Let's see. Failed bread. There you are. Failed bread. Wait, I don't have your address. What are you talking about? Did you not say? It's your fault. I'm blaming you. Wait, hold on. Let me check Discord. He might have sent me on Discord.
Yeah,
he just sent it to me. No, he did send it to me. It's my fault. All right, failed bread. I got you, dog. I'll send you the. Wait, go pick a blend. Wait, you never told me what blend you wanted. It's your fault again.
Daniel, pick a blend or a single origin, whatever you want.
That's funny. Mark Robershaw says the ginger bassist is a beast. Cool, right on. Robershaw says Mitchell has more hair than Tim Pool and Bezos. Robershaw, you make me say the damnedest things, man.
Dude, mine just like migrated from my head to my face.
I'm cutting my hair off soon. I'm very excited about it.
I grew this thing out as a joke.
It looks good, dude. I
started getting so many compliments on it, and then like COVID happened, and I wasn't outside, so I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna mess around with it. And now it's like now I feel like I'm gonna die with it. It's kind of like it's kind of become a staple of my face pretty much at this point. So
I mean, do you do different things with it, or can you braid them together and do like a Viking thing?
It's not quite long enough to braid. I think I got to get it like another maybe like inch or so. But yeah, braiding is in the near future for sure.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh man, Daniel Humphrey says I said you choose one for me. Oh, it's my fault again. Failed bread. It was better when I could just blame you. Come on. I'll take it. I'll take the heat. That's fine. Mark G says, Mitchell, we need Crigler tea to go with the coffee. We have talked about it. It's a whole different thing.
It is a whole different ballgame.
But we may get into it eventually. It's just not high on the priority list.
Yeah.
Let's see. Robershaw says, does the Ethiopia bean make you hungry? That's not a funny joke, Mark Robershaw. That's not funny, man. Robershaw, stop laughing at him. No. You're not laughing. Don't you laugh at that.
Damn it, Marks. I'm not supposed to swear. Come on, Marks.
Robershaw says, would the French blend make you surrender? Man, Robershaw, you're not... Dude. Ryan Hiddard said, the album I want to hear is Adam's album. Nice to see you on the show again, Mitchell. You two should do another jam session. Yeah, we jammed out. That bass behind him, he actually plays. He's we actually have a few songs together. I actually just played Let Loose the other day, and I'm like, ooh, I forgot about this jam, dude. It's a good little ditty.
I do like that jam. That is a good little riff that you got going on that track.
Yeah, Mitchell was my bass player when I lived in Arizona for a time, and it was a lot of fun. I really didn't play. I play music, but I haven't written anything new lately. But this property is just absolutely incredible. So I think I might make a few spots where I could just chill. I have a lot of rocks, like big, huge boulders around me that you could sit on and just chill. That I might just make a point to sit and write some new music soonish.
Yeah, I can see how it'd be pretty easy for nature to be your muse where you're at, man.
I should, my music probably more than most people. I should talk to you about what songs should go on my first album, right?
I'd be happy to work that out with you. Absolutely. Let's
talk about that. Let's break it down. Cause I have a feeling, most of my music, and my new songs, The Forge and Freely. I kind of want to base it around those two. Uh-huh. And then complement those with my older songs to make my album. So, and we're going to be building Nishra Studio here so I can actually record it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Pretty excited about it. All right, where are we? Mark G says, Crigler coffee isn't good coffee. It's great coffee.
It is.
Thank you, Mark G.
Thank you, Mark G.
The 800 millimeter railway gun again says Black Rifle Coffee is doing the destroy your brand speed run. Well, good riddance, because a lot of people that know about them know about my coffee, and people are sharing my coffee a lot. It's great. and I really do. I appreciate it. And thank you all. If you have shared my show, my coffee, my tweets, anything, if you're sharing anything of mine, I really do appreciate you. Thank you very much. And also, please go follow the Beat Sessions on YouTube. This guy is doing great work, breaking down different records. Just try anyone, pick a band that you might recognize, and just watch one review, and you'll understand. Dude brings the knowledge. Robert Shaw says, Black Rifle coffee blends make you bend the knee. Oof. White Lasagna says, I have an idea. Spicy coffee. Coffee beans and chili pepper blend. I like to add cayenne pepper to my coffee. Just an idea.
Ooh.
I mean, but the thing is with adding stuff to the coffee, because we talked about like flavored coffee, like people do like hazelnut blends, or they add like flavors. Most of that stuff isn't very good. It's like, it's not, you don't know where they source it. It's always like they like toss it processed. It's like processed stuff. It's not very good. So it's better for people to have their own chili pepper. If you're gonna add chili pepper, to add it. So I don't know if we would do that, but White Lasagna is the one who got me the die. I did get a random generator. Sectus asked for a 7, I believe. So I'm going to roll the die right now. Good luck, everyone. Have fun. Okay, I've rolled the die. Sectus, it's not a 7. But good luck, everybody. Mitchell, you want to take a guess?
I'd go with 9.
All right, it is not 9. That's all right. You suck. I'm just kidding. Right off the bat, we've got a winner. I think this was the first guess. Is this the first guess? It is it's the second guess. Ethan Rugg, congratulations. It is 13. I see a bunch of 13s too, but Ethan, you were the first person to guess 13. Congratulations. You love to see it. Yep. And you won absolutely nothing. Good luck. And I hope you had fun. Robert Shaw says, Adam owns a flintlock pistol and a 12-pounder cannon. That would be kind of fun to actually have, but no, I unfortunately don't. Robert Shaw says, F Blizzos. Shanjak says, Megadeth, Washington is next, predicted everything, especially 2021. I don't know that. Is that a song by them? I know Megadeth, but I don't really know their music. So
I do not know Megadeth that well either. I'm glad Dave Mustaine is recovered and healthy, because he was going through some illness there for a little bit. But as far as their whole catalog, that's not a band that I have really gotten into much.
Yeah. Tell Mitchell to play some J.S. Bach. Do you have any Bach on vinyl?
I do, man. I do got some Bach. Yeah, man. I got some these really cool.
Of course you do.
These like classical music big box sets. This one is Mood Music for Dining.
That's awesome, actually. That's kind of great. I love that.
Yeah, man. I got like a half a dozen of those or something like that. So lots of classical music in there.
Robert Shaw says AC/DC.
So we were
talking early 90s.
When I was 12 years old, the first record I ever bought, and I still have it on this shelf, is Back in Black.
I mean, Thunderstruck came out in 91, didn't it? Early 90s.
Yes. Yeah. Something, I mean, like sometimes, if not, maybe late 80s. I mean.
Hold on. I'm gonna look this up. Thunderstruck, AC/DC. When did this come out? How do I even find out when it came out? Thunderstruck song, Wikipedia.
Yeah, 1990.
September 1990. So, I mean, basically 90s, early 90s, 91. Well, 90, but whatever. September. It was almost 91. I was close.
Interesting band, man. I mean, it's like everything that happened with them, they should have never even survived as long as they did. But I mean, to come back with an album like Back in Black with a brand new singer after the tragedy of Bon Spot is just like, it's crazy, man. It's one of the wildest things I think I've seen in music as far as making a comeback,
Yeah. Robert Shaw says, is it weak to not embrace the baldness?
You know what?
Hey, Bezos embraced it. You got to admit, Robert Shaw, he embraced it. He's embracing it.
I'm very happy with the shape of my head, so that is a big part of it.
Okay.
I know some people that are like, dude, I got the weirdest shaped head. There's no way I'm ever doing it. So, I mean, here's the other thing, though, too. No matter who you are, if you choose to do it, you're going to think that you look weird for like the first 2 weeks. It's
because you're not used to it.
Man, I remember the first time I did it, I was just like, what did I do? And then now I can't even, like, people.
I've always known you that.
Like, yeah, people see pictures of me when I'm like 19, 20, 21, and they're like, you had hair at some point? It's so weird. Not even a lot at that point, but yeah.
I feel like once I get there, I'll probably embrace it too. My grandfather's bald, so I think I'm gonna lose my hair eventually.
Yeah, you're gonna have like Fabio hair when you're like 70, you jerk.
Who knows? Maybe I will. Robert Shaw says Metallica has changed over the years. Still good. Are they though? Are they? I don't know. I like Metallica, but I don't know their new stuff. So
I love Metallica, but Lars Ulrich is just such a fill in the blank, whatever.
Okay. All right.
He's a turd. He's a turd.
Robert Shaw says F Bruce Springsteen. Dude.
What?
Whoa.
What?
Whoa, dude. Whoa. Then he continues and said Bruce Jenner is greater than Bruce Springsteen. Jeez. Robert Shaw is going nuts.
I ran cross country in high school. I was actually a sponsored runner in my 20s. So Prefontaine and Bruce Jenner actually were two athletes that all the cross country team and I we admired very much. So
okay,
that was interesting to say.
He is saying Bruce Jenner is better.
I know.
Bruce Springsteen. So when he was still the Olympiad.
Bruce, I'm glad you're happy, but I'm glad you're happy, but I miss you, Bruce.
Mark Robertshaw says Korn Daddy is a messed song. I like Korn also. I like
Korn a lot too, actually.
Sejong says, I don't care what anyone thinks. Black Parade is one of the best album released in my young adulthood. When I listened to it end to end, wow. Yeah, Green Day. I mean, that's Green Day, right? Black Parade?
That's My Chemical Romance.
Oh, My Chemical Romance. What am I thinking? Yes, I know what you're talking about. That's I haven't heard the album, but I like that song. When I was a young boy, my father. That one? Is that song?
Yeah.
That album?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's
you're not about it.
I agree to disagree with a lot of people on that record. Not a fan of that band, really. But dude, that band and like Coheed and Cambria was another one where just man, the what sounds like a prepubescent vocal is just like I can't dig it. It does
like feel like a lot of there was like an era between like 2010 maybe and like 2016 that there was like every new band sounded like that, and I was just like, why? What is this stuff,
dude? I get a lot of crap for not liking
emo
a whole lot,
emo rock, cringe rock. Yeah, what are these bands called? Like, I am not a big fan of it. Like pop rock, or I don't know. You know who was a big fan of that? Tim and Lydia. Those two loved it, and I was like, I hate your guys' music. You guys suck. Your music sucks.
Tim plays like dashboard confessional songs on his guitar all the time, doesn't he? He just sits in his room.
I'm not gonna go any further into this conversation. I'm gonna get myself in trouble here about my real opinions on this.
To each their own. Emo music, whatever.
and Sejong, that's fine that you like it. I'm not trying to make fun of you at all. It's not for me. It's not for me. Sejong says, I'm not even an MCR fan. That's what makes it absurd. Okay. So maybe he didn't even like them, but I'm still laughing at what I was just saying. Oh my goodness, I gotta move on.
But no, I mean, obviously, what I will say is like, obviously, that band is really good because there's a lot of people that love that record. I mean, that record is very much a major part of the zeitgeist at that time.
I do like that song. Actually, it's kind of a cool song. I do like that one.
Yep.
It's the grandness of it. It's cool how it builds, and I love that when music does that. Jay Rico says, yes, it's more country. His new song is basically about everything going on in this country right now. Who did you say that was?
Aaron Lewis from Stained. Yeah, I like that
Aaron
term
Lewis,
that he kind of took the little genre change, if you will, kind of mixing up that country feel. But I mean, if you look at Stained in their catalog, I mean, there's so much of that where he's playing an acoustic guitar. There's a lot of that like acoustic rhythm that's driving many of those songs. So I can definitely see the parallels there, and how he ended up kind of taking that road.
Yeah, someone in chat just said System of a Down was great for a while. I actually have tickets to go see System in California in October, which I think I'm going to sell my tickets because they're going to demand vaccine passports to go see that.
I think the only System record that I really wasn't super crazy about was Steal This Record. All their other stuff is awesome. I love System. I
love them, dude. I really want to see them, but I don't think it's worth it.
You know, dude, it's so frustrating because if they want to test me, I'm like, cool. Like if you have like some instant test, and I know that like delays entrance and there's all this stuff, but yeah, the passport thing is just one of those things where I'm like, I can't compromise on that. And we were talking earlier, music is an industry, like it's built on selling out. Like most bands don't break even on a gig until they hit like 70-75% capacity in a venue. Yeah. So I mean, this isn't.
And he means selling out, like selling the stadium out.
Yeah, like I mean, you gotta sell out a venue. I mean, you've got to sell tickets. You need to fill up a space. It's not like sports where you have all these advertising deals and you can make a ton of money with merchandising and all this other stuff through TV. I mean, most musicians make the majority of their money touring, and if they don't have that opportunity to, and especially if they don't have the opportunity to fill a venue to its capacity, we're gonna lose music.
True.
I don't know what else to say.
Grant Thompson says, if you haven't picked up their albums yet, 2 Japanese bands I'd recommend is No Buses and WOD. Take care, Adam. Wish you well. I don't know either of those bands. Have you heard of them?
I have not. I'll check them out though. I think it's the K-pop thing is one of the things that just.
I don't think this is K-pop. This is Japanese bands. But
well, I know, but just like music coming out of that part of the world right now, like it's the explosion of pop music from that area of the world is crazy right now. I find it fascinating. It's like not anything that I'm really into, but I know a ton of people that are just obsessed with this stuff.
Well, it makes sense though, because there's always a trend wave of like it was hot in America. Then it shifts over around to other areas, and it carries over where it's like that pop isn't really. Actually, I don't know. It might be still popular in America. I feel like I'm out of date because I listen to the music that I like, and it's rare that I actually listen to new music nowadays. So which is why I like your channel, because you review new music, and I'm like I really want to get the new Weezer album. Because Weezer, I love Weezer, and you were talking about it. You were like,
really good.
It's a good record, and I actually listened to a couple of the songs on YouTube, and I'm like, holy, this is awesome! Like, I like Weezer. Like, I want to get this record so I can have new Weezer. So it's pretty cool to, go check out some new albums that I'm interested in, and if you approve them, I'm like, all right, it's got to be good then. So go check out the Beat. Where is it? The Beat Sessions. Go check it out, guys. Mark Robichaud says Amish Paradise is the shiz. You know what?
Weird Al.
I was gonna say we got to give it up to Weird Al. That dude.
Got to give it up to Weird Al.
Wow.
At the very least, he's cheeky and witty.
Word Crimes, amazing. Aluminum Foil, the song instead of Royal. Oh my gosh, I love those 2 songs. They're amazing. And then, I mean, all the way up to his Michael Jackson parodies. I mean, he does all the top songs, and sometimes they're better than the actual songs. If you guys don't know Word Crimes, please go watch Word Crimes by Weird Al. He's amazing. It's incredible. You have to check it out. Robert Shaw says, Raining Blood on Guitar Hero. Okay. Oh, you know what? I have to just say, everybody. So Mitchell had his air conditioning on before we started the show. And it was 78 in his house. It's over 100 degrees outside of his house. And we were taking bets like, how hot is it going to be? I said, I think it's going to be 84. He said 86 at the end of the show. So I don't know. Should we wait until we finish the super chats and then go see?
I mean, we could do it right now. Instead of rolling the dice, what temperature is it in my house?
What? It started at 78. He turned the air conditioning off because it was so loud. I was like, oh no, you're gonna have to turn that off, dude. He was like, all right.
78 sounds hot, but my house, like I just have this old brick structure that's great. Like 78 is actually very cool in my house. It stays very nice. So
did you take the headphones off because you're hot?
Yeah, dude, my ears are sweating.
I knew it. I knew it. All right, Leonardo says 85. Ruben says 98.
Let's go check it.
All right, he's going to go check. We're going to see what the real temperature is. I think 84. Social Score says 83. Robert Wild says 100. No, it can't be that hot. Diana says 87. All right, we got a good range here. Let's see what it is when he gets back. Sejong says, one of my favorite albums is Motley Crue's Shout at the Devil. Total banger. Yeah, Motley Crue. That's a fun band. Robert Shaw says, White Zombie, Feed the Gods. He again says, if you have ghosts, you have everything. Okay. All right, we got him coming back.
It is 86 degrees.
80, you nailed it. You win.
I mean,
although
it is my house.
I was gonna say you could be lying though, and just no one would ever know. And you could just say that you won.
I rolled a natural 86.
George says 86. I think he's the only one else that said 86. But I call shenanigans. I bet it's actually 84, and he's lying because he doesn't because he wants to win and not give it to me.
But I'm willing to make the sacrifice because you could have just listened to my air conditioner run for the last hour and a half, and that wouldn't have been cool.
Yeah, it was pretty loud. Robert Shaw says, are you balding? Do you wear a beanie to hide it? You need Crigler Coffee Man Blend. It'll give you the balls to embrace the baldness and win.
Yeah. If you drink Crigler Coffee, you can grow one of these. Very nice.
Robert Shaw, come on, man. Dude, oh my gosh. All right. Daniel Humphrey says, fine, I'll take the blame. Yes.
Yeah. Don't do it, Daniel. Don't capitulate. It's not your fault.
You shut your mouth, Mitchell. You shut your mouth. I win this one. All right. Robert, we got it. All right, but we got to get him a blend.
Yeah, I'll order your coffee tonight, dude. Sorry.
All right, good. Robert Shaw says, Adam tries to be PC, but I see that laugh and smile. I mean, I am biased. I have my firm stance on a lot of things, and there's nothing to hide it. Not all of us hide behind a beanie. Robert Shaw says, can't do a German blend, though. Too spicy. God, this guy.
Germans go Gewürztraminer, not coffee.
What's that? What is that?
It's a white wine.
Okay. Mark E says, hey, Adam, it's me, Merc. Hey, what's up, Merc?
What up, Merc?
Started my own channel. If you are an inspiration, right outside the narrative. Oh, I like that. That's a good name. Right outside the narrative. That's good. That's a good name for a show, man. Well, good luck, dude. That's awesome. Good luck with your channel. Right outside the narrative. I'm assuming it's on YouTube. Go check it out, people. That's awesome. Good luck, Merc, with it. And thank you. I'm proud to have been your inspiration. I just had a super chat jump. Give me a second. Oh my goodness. Wow. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Daniel Humphrey says, I share your stuff, just not your coffee, as I have not tried it. All right, I'll take it. I deserve that. But thank you for sharing my content. I do appreciate that, mate. Robert Shaw says, roll a 2. All right, we got another roll. All right, you want to take another stab at it, Mitchell?
I'll stick with 9. That was always my number.
All right, you failed again. All right, but good luck, everybody. I just rolled the dice again. You guys know what to do. Good luck and have fun. Sejong says, one of my favorite local breweries had an IPA called Habanero Sculpin. They stopped selling it in stores, though. Shame. Roll a 13. Crush it for Crigler. All right. So that's 2 rolls right in a row. I'm combining them because everyone's already guessing numbers. All right. But I'm watching. I got all these numbers rolling in. We'll see. No one's guessed it. Someone guessed 45. It's 1 through 20, if those who don't know. David Allen just guessed 876,554. That is absolutely not a chance. James Wolf, congratulations. It is 11. You are the winner. You just won absolutely nothing. All right. David says, don't try to be Russell Brand. Don't be Tim Pool. Be Adam. Spin it. Well, thank you. I mean, what other option do I have, right? I am me. So, I'm having, yeah. Oh, and Robert Shaw says, Adam's not a stoner, nor going bald. So Adam is good. Well, who's going bald? Who are you talking about there? Oh, moving on. We got the 800 millimeter railgun becoming a member. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you very much. You can now absolutely spin the UFO in chat. Hold on, let me get this. I actually have the emoji in chat that you can spin yourself. If you are now a member, Darth Jason is spinning the UFO. The railway gun is currently spinning the UFO in chat. Thank you guys so much. You can absolutely spin the UFO Newport, as it were, in chat if you are a member. And it also supports me monthly. Thank you very much. Robert Shaw says, tips for Osmond Gold about balding. I don't even know who that is. I see that name floating around, but I don't really pay attention to it. Robert Shaw says, I'm sure it's the female side that affects baldness. I actually think it is, doesn't it? It's like if your mother's father was bald, then you tend to be bald. Is your grandpa on your mom's side bald?
Both my grandpas had hair. And it's really odd because I have my dad's side of the family is Irish Catholic, so we're lots of cousins.
Hold on. I'm very sorry. I just assumed your baldness.
No, dude.
I know you shave, but it's like I just assumed that you're bald too.
I've had the old cul-de-sac since I was about 21 years old. And it's
21,
crazy. Dude. Yeah, man. And pretty much all the men on the dad's side of the family, all the male cousins, bald. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Okay.
I got my cousin Aaron lives out in Bakersfield, an immensely talented tattoo artist. I mean, he same situation. Like I remember. He's like roughly 8 years older than me, 9 years older than me. So I remember going out and seeing my grandpa when I was little. Him and his parents lived in like a town that was nearby, so we'd go see them. And I remember him being like 17, 18 and just going straight for the razor. Wow. So yeah, it's like I'm not sure. Like you hear all that talk, but I mean, my dad's side of the family is like, I don't know, kind of proof of the opposite.
Well, my mother's father was bald, but he was bald at 30. Okay. So as I found out, and I'm 37, so I guess I am good for now. Let's see here. Sejong says male pattern baldness is passed on through the mother's side. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Robert Shaw says, oops, I forgot. Bruce changed. I guess I'm canceled. You never know, right? Who knows anymore? Southpaw says the globe getting nuked via vaccine, and we're talking about Green Day. Okay. Yeah, I got my channel on strikes for talking about that stuff, right? So I don't tend to talk about that stuff anymore. But I'm fairly certain you guys know my opinion on all that. All right.
Yeah. We were joking about it earlier.
Yeah.
We were joking about it earlier.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep my channel. If you wanted to talk about that.
I'd rather keep my channel, man, than appease you. Robert Shaw says it's music to cut your wrist to. Come on. Assuming this is the emo stuff. Great. Robert Shaw says it's J-pop, you bigot. Excuse me. Wow. And you're just assuming that those two bands were J-pop. All right.
Yeah. Yes. Well, actually, I'm assuming that they're not, based on just the conversation that we had in the bands that we've been talking about.
True.
I just think it's funny, just the boom of pop music and like just the obsession with it. Like, I mean, like the videos that correspond with it. I mean, I know so many people that are just obsessed with standing in front of their computer and like dancing and making TikTok videos. It's like taking over the world. It's crazy. It's great.
It's ridiculous, dude. People are getting famous for it. It's like,
yeah, man.
it makes me think of like Chrissy Teigen. Like, why is she even famous at all? You know why? Because she had boobs and she was famous on MySpace for having boobs. No joke. That's how Chrissy Teigen got famous, for having tits.
Which makes our music conversation sound like a dissertation. So bang.
You know, there was a conservative website that just says we should give mercy to Chrissy Teigen. It's like, no, we shouldn't. Who cares about Chrissy Teigen? Why? No, I don't care about that woman. Roger says original Scorpion King soundtrack was pretty good. Like The Mummy, Scorpion King?
Yeah, the Rock movie, right?
Is that? I don't even know what the soundtrack is.
I'm not familiar with that soundtrack. But I mean, dude, that is the funny thing about soundtracks is that, I mean, I'm assuming that movie wasn't super high quality.
Yeah.
And so it's funny, man, how many bad movies you get with excellent soundtracks.
It was pretty bad.
Definitely not an uncommon thing.
So I've seen some of. Robert Shaw says, trapped in a drive-through, confessions number 3. Godsmack. Yes. All right, Robert Shaw. Sejong says, K-pop is my jams. But what makes some group like BTS exceptional is that they explicitly signed an unknown producer so they could retain the right to write and develop their own songs.
There you go. A little do-it-yourself there. I like that. Okay. I mean,
it's smart. It's smart.
I'm probably not going to listen to it, but I can get behind it.
Yeah. They also, with some help, limited and developed their dance routines on their own. They are basically completely independent within their own success. That's amazing, actually, if they could do that. I mean, and that's kind of what I'm going for, too, because, like, I have my music, and I would like to do an album and get it out there, and my coffee's doing really well, and that's all because of you guys, like word of mouth, of you all sharing my stuff, and it's like, if I can get my album out there and kind of, like, get into it. I mean, look at Tom McDonald. Like, that guy started, as a drunk, getting drunk every day with his friends to like getting serious about his music. And now he's got millions and millions of views and he's killing it because he worked his ass off for it and deserves it now. I mean, shout out to Tom McDonald, dude, because that dude is based. Love that guy.
To build on that too, man, and you can relate to this. I mean, I think that's been one of the funnest things about building a channel, building a community is, learning to just deal with everything that goes along with that. Learning to take the heat, to appreciate the good. I think there's a lot as far as just real life that I've learned from my YouTube channel as far as just maintaining that attitude. One of my favorite things about your show, my friend, is your attitude, your perspective, maintaining that positivity. It is a choice, and you can either do it or you can, take the other route, which in my opinion is exhausting. And you can probably agree on that. So, YouTube, for all of its shortcomings, man, and for all the garbage people and haters that are on it. Yeah. Like if anything, it's just, I find myself just building off that energy and I find it more motivating and more driving than anything.
Well, thank you, dude. I appreciate that.
Dude. Yeah, dude.
That's what this tattoo is. I am. It's like you choose. Like I am. It's like it's a choice to be what you choose. Who you are. You choose the vibe that you project. That you only have one person you're ever going to live with, and that's yourself. Always, no matter what you do until the day you die, you have to live with yourself. So make yourself the person you want to be around. Right? I mean. Yeah. That without that, then everything sucks, right? You turn yourself into the person that you like being around, and life is just a better place.
Absolutely, man.
All right, let's see. Ryan Hindard says all that remains with Libertarian Frontman. All that remains. I don't know that band either, but that sounds like something that. Another one of those Lydia bands that I couldn't stand when they were jamming it through the house. Robert Shaw says, man, I'm a little spicy right now. Robert Shaw says, would the Japanese blend be radioactive? Dude, Robert Shaw, dude, what?
Dude, he's brutal today.
Dude. All right. He says, I'll stop now, like Biden's brain. Okay, I like that one. That was good. Robert Shaw says, again, I like boobs. What your problem? Free the nip. All right, dude. All right. Leonardo says, I planted a plum tree. It's like 6 feet tall. Roll a 6. All right, we got another dice roll.
Dude, I want a plum. That sounds delicious.
Are you sticking with 9?
Yeah.
You lost again.
Ah.
Okay. But it's also not a 6, Leonardo, but I did roll the die, everybody. Good luck. Have fun. I love plums. Plums are absolutely delicious, aren't they? Grant Thompson says both bands are rock bands. No Buses sings exclusively in English, and WOD is in Japanese. Scorpion King had Godsmack in it. So
Godsmack is cool.
They're both rock bands. So that makes sense. Like you said, it's like pertaining to the conversations we were having. It probably wasn't J-pop.
I'm excited to listen to the band that sings in Japanese. I love music in other languages. Like I live in Tucson, Arizona. I'm like 50 miles from the border, so I love the Spanish language and music. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I would love to listen to like Japanese lyrics. I think that's great.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Ryan Hinnard. He just said in chat, he says, I'm sure Lydia acts like she likes All That Remains. You know what? I follow Phil. He's the lead singer from All That Remains. I don't really know the music, but I guess he was on their show. And I met him. He came over and checked my area out because Tim was showing him around and whatnot. So I met him. Very nice. And he's super based on Twitter. And I like a lot of his political standpoints. So I tend to agree with a lot of libertarians out there. I'm finding out I'm actually rather libertarian myself, as far as like I'm more libertarian than conservative, but I'm not a Democrat in the slightest. I think you guys know that about me. My goodness, this has been a fun show. Robert Shaw says, and the Mark's best super chat, hands down. Which one? Which one was the best one? Jeez, I don't even know. Free the Nips, maybe? A Godzilla reference? I don't know. Grant Thompson. Oh, okay. So that's all the super chats. Listen, guys. You know what, Mitchell? I'm going to give you the camera. You take over and just tell people really about what you're doing and where people can follow you and check it out.
Yeah, so you can follow me at the Beat Sessions. Space it out. You got to type in to have the channel come up. It's still kind of undiscovered, but I really want to thank Adam for having me on the show. Truly, the last year that I've been working with you on this show has been one of the most remarkable journeys of my life. This has been amazing watching you grow professionally. It's been amazing to do that with you. And I'm excited to have my own platform to build on basically that example that you've laid out before me, man. And I just am excited about the future, what it holds for us. And, thank you all for checking the show out today. It was a lot of fun being on here.
Definitely. And Diana, congratulations. You won. It was a 1. And Montana Horseman right behind with 1, literally 2 guesses in a row, but Diana beat you, Montana Horseman. Diana, congratulations, and thanks for tuning in also. I see you guys all the time. I see everyone that's in chat right now. Almost every single one of you is all members. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. And Mitchell, you're the best. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Shout out real quick to Diana because she left me a message last night on my channel, and she was like, "I'm excited to watch you on the Crigler show." And I'm like, "Oh man, this is real. Like this is pretty cool." So Diana, thank you. I appreciate your enthusiasm for the channel. And thank you again, buddy.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. We got a couple more. Wanderer says, Gact is a good Japanese artist. Hey, Wanderer, by the way, I saw that artwork that you did of me. Thank you, man. That was really cool. Swole Jesus.
That's
I'm sorry. Your name is hilarious. Swollest Jesus says, Cuomo keeps sending me nip pics. Make it stop. Oh man.
No. Oh God.
I did that yesterday on my show. All right, well, guys, thank you guys for showing up. Tomorrow, Jam Night. I know last week I missed Jam Night because I was moving. I was dead tired. It was a long day of travel and moving in. Lots of stuff going on that day. But tomorrow I will be jamming out. I got my guitar right here. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. Mitchell, buddy, thanks for joining me. And I will see you guys next time.